Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Yardmaster, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
In a rarity for Tethys Shipyards, we are actually able to cover a small craft because we are moving into the Star Wars crossovers, and this is one of the easiest universes where you can cover fighters and other small craft.
And
And we're
today,
starting with them.
obviously, we're starting with the X-Wing.
Yes, the most iconic. The T-65 X-wing, the ship that killed the first Death Star and participated in the killing of the second.
We might as well
And,
start with Carl Ray Keen's description of the X-Wing. The Incom T-65 X-Wing is the fighter that killed the Death Star. An almost perfect balance of speed, maneuverability, and defensive shields make it a fighter of choice for Rogue Squadron.
yep.
The history of the X-Wing is somewhat well documented, so we're going to abridge it for you. Originally designed by the Incom Corporation for the Galactic Empire. The X-Wing was supposed to be a expensive, high-powered, but very capable fighter craft, a successor in both respects to the Z-95 Headhunter and the ARC-170 Heavy Attack Fighter, taking the best elements of both, the general platform of the Z-95 and the S-foils and heavy laser cannons of the ARC-170, as well as two proton torpedo launchers, which you can see here on the nose section.
Yes. However, the Empire didn't really want it. The Empire was focused on their cheap, disposable, swarm tactic TIE fighters.
Well, they were actually going to use the TIEs, but after Incom got nationalized, the rebels stole them from Freyja, as seen during the mission in Empire at War.
Yeah. And so, the X-Wing became the visible symbol of the Rebel Alliance.
The model you see here, and will generally represent most models of the X-Wing, is the T-65B. Using Incom 4L4 fusible thrust engines, a Class 1 hyperdrive, no backup, equipped with a powerful Defender-class shield generator, an economical titanium hull, not as efficient as steel, but far more resistant to rust and corrosion, and armed with four Tayambach KX-9 laser cannons, though some models equipped the IX-4. The Crump X MG7 proton torpedo launcher, two of them, are mounted in the nose section. There is an optional astromech unit. Most X-Wings carried one, though some didn't.
Yeah. And now we must come to the stats. And here I must give a caveat. This is purely for Star Wars crossovers with Star Trek. If you want to play an actual Star Wars game, Fantasy Flight Games came up with a very good system. It is currently being published by Edge Studios, which has taken over most of Fantasy Flight Games RPG stuff. So look at that if you want to go for a more proper Star Wars RPG. This is This is for comparison to Star Trek. If you wish to have Star Wars and Star Trek elements come together,
which brings us to a problem. Let's be blunt here. Wars Tech is very much inferior. Now, before you start downvoting, and we're not doing this to be mean, We
We
are literally just quoting articles from both Wikipedia and Memory Alpha.
we are the messengers. Do not follow that Ferengi rule of acquisition. Do not kill the messenger. Because we are not here for your money. We are just here to
We're
give the
here to
fact.
entertain you. We're
Yeah,
here to
we are.
entertain. We're here to provide more material for you. If you hate us, we can't help you.
Yeah. So, stats. Entered service date is listed as 1 BBY, basically, the year before Yavin. And it is a rebel fighter. It's a scale 1 craft, and all shuttlecraft type are, and this thing is using a shuttlecraft rules. There are 3 types of small craft in Utopia Planitia: pods, shuttles, and runabouts. The X-Wing, I think, works best as a shuttle. So we have, and we're doing an equivalent of 2250. So basically, this thing has 24 points to work with. So we give this thing a mostly even spread. Comms 4, computers 3, engines 5, sensors 4, structure 4, weapons 4. Computers aren't quite as necessary for stuff like this because it does have astromech support. And for the engines, it is one of the faster craft out there. Otherwise, it has an even spread in just about everything. For departments, shuttlecraft have 3 department points. So we gave this thing 1 point each in con, security, and engineering. Engineering is to represent the astromech. The astromech is also represented in the improved damage control talent. For weapons, this thing has laser cannons, which basically we use disruptors as the equivalent. So 4 challenge dice, close range, vicious 1, and proton torpedoes. Torpedo type weapon, 3 challenge dice, medium range, and high yield. Basically an equivalent to photonic torpedoes. For the special rules, this thing has the hyperdrive FTL propulsion system, fast targeting, basically fast targeting systems, just representing how X-Wing pilots are always pretty good shots, and deflector screens. This is going to be a Wars exclusive, a Universal Wars special rule. Shield, sharp.
Now, War's shielding is actually 2 brands. Ray shielding, which handles meteoroids, projectile weapons, all that sort of stuff, and deflector shields. Both cannot be run at the same time by most ships. The larger you get, probably the better chances you have of running both, like the Death Star. However, this is mostly a planetary thing. So, for craft like the X-Wing, the A-Wing,
you can only run one type of shield at a time. And this is represented by the special rule. Shields from this universe can protect against energy weapons or projectile weapons, but not both at the same time. If the opposite type of weapon is used and hits the ship, it automatically causes a breach. It takes a minor action to swap between protection types. So, if you have this thing set to repel energy weapons and someone hits you with a torpedo or a slug or something, or a kinetic slug or something, you're taking a breach. Same thing if you're protecting against projectile weapons and someone fires lasers at you.
We're not doing this to be insulting. We just want to make this clear.
No.
We're just following the rules of the lore.
Yeah. We're following the rules of the lore. Doing our best. We're doing our best just to make it work we're doing our best to make the rules work with the lore. The rules are streamlined for Star Trek, but we were running out of Trek ships, so we figured doing crossovers was a good way to expand it. As such, here we are. And of course, the T-70. Basically, the Disney X-Wing. Now,
About that.
yeah,
We're suckers for concept art. I had the mic shut off, so
yeah, yeah,
we're suckers for
yeah.
concept art.
We're
STD was kind of that with the open trailer, which really deepens the betrayal.
yeah.
So we
Disney,
don't mind this thing.
Yeah, we don't mind the ship. Disney's Star Wars movies, basically an attempt at a stealth reboot. Those can all die in a fire. But
we like this
we
thing.
can keep.
The boats are safe.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, the boats are safe. The plot can die.
Hell, we can even use this as the Legends, or rather, as I like to call it, the true EU's version of the XJ wing. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
you can use both. We just still like this thing.
Yep. The X7, the T-70 is going to basically have the same stat blocks, except we're going to give it, say, an extra point in weapons.
Probably to represent that extra belly gun. Because I like the belly gun. It kind of makes sense. For reference, this is just like the MiG-27 Flogger D, which has 2 gun pods that are mounted at a lower angle for strafing attacks. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Execution might need some work, though. But still.
Yeah.
We're not crapping on wars. We're just going, it is what it is. And we're being fair.
It is what it is. We're being fair for the rules of the Wars universe when compared to the Trekverse.
If you want to have fun with this and have them side with the Federation or something, go nuts. I salute you.
Yeah, if you want to have, if you want to do a Wars Trek crossover and have the Rebels or the New Republic or Resistance or whatever side with the Federation, go nuts.
Actually, that might be one hell
We're
of
just saying
that might actually be a good campaign, don't you think? The Empire or whoever sides with the Dominion or the Interstellar Concordium.
But we're just saying that we've gone through all the all the lore and the technical files, and Wars technology it's just not quite as good as Trek tech. And we'll do our best to be fair, but you have to understand that these ships are at best going to compare to 23rd century tech.
Meaning, if you bring them up to the 24th, or even worse, the 29th, you're boned.
The most even crossover is going to be the 23rd century, the motion picture era. The 2250s. If you bring them into the TOS era or the motion picture era, Trek will have a slight advantage, but still will be mostly fair. But once you get into the 24th century, especially the TNG era,
You're screwed.
hell, you could, yeah, though you could have that as a plot point. The warships in the 24th century are just, I have a campaign mission dedicated to helping improve the technology of your allies to handle the new problems that they will be facing.
Because development technology does not happen in a vacuum, we're gonna be flexible with that. If you want to start improving these things as far as realistically possible, we will allow you the leeway for that. However, they are,
you can do that.
as they are, they're no match for anything from the 24th century.
Yeah.
In fact, the X-Wing might actually be the worst option you could use outside of the tie line. But we will explain that in the next vid.
Yeah.
Now, leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't just leave a dislike, just explain your reasoning. I will discuss it with you. Be civil.
Yeah. Yeah, just tell us what you think we did.
Instead of just going,
why. And I don't have the ability to see the comments on these vids as they pop up because I'm not the creator. Ron is. He will bring them up. He will see them as they come up, and he will talk to them. If he thinks I need to chime in, he will let me know.
But please be civil. Explain your position.
Yes.
But be civil about it. Because we like Star Wars. We're not exactly happy with what Disney's done with it, and maybe it could use a different perspective instead of the same old recycled plot line. But we don't hate it.
And Disney's we don't hate Star Wars. We like Star Wars. It's just comparing it with Trek is always comparing it with Trek. Ron is logic. He is Mr. Techhead. He will always try to make things fair and not balanced, but realistic. We will do our best to do that, just to make sure that everything is as realistic as possible. If that means things are unbalanced, well, that is the nature of the beast.
But we're not doing it to dunk on it. We never have. We never will. We are trying...
Yeah. The only thing... Yeah, we're trying to be fair about it. The only thing Ron might possibly dunk on is Mecha, because, well...
Just...
See our episode of Housecoat podcasting on Mecha to see what his beliefs on that are. And Gundam especially, but that's partly because they also reuse the same plot time and time again.
Hard not to see my point on the matter. Regardless, this is lore accurate, lore friendly, and if you want to make a campaign, how we might do that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, that would definitely be an intriguing thing to do. A campaign with wars and Trek coming together in some fashion. We're gonna not sure how we do that, but we would find if we decide to do it, we might find a way to make it work. But we're being logical and realistic.
And again, if you disagree, be civil. Explain yourself. And I will explain our position in more detail.
Yes, don't just go, oh, Roars is better than Trek, rawr!
Because we're not. We're trying to be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we are being nice, and we are being realistic.
Regardless,
We apologize if that offends you.
We've gone on with the rant all too long. The X-Wing. An icon of its series, but probably not the best option to go up against Trek craft. We will explain why in the next vid. Thank you for watching. Please leave comments.
Please be civil in those comments.
Don't dislike just because you see the title. Be civil. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.